All right, we got the sun going down quick here. We gotta just get it on. Can't be perfect. It's gotta just be what it gonna be. Hello, friends. It's Teal with you on lucky day 13. I feel like I need to be closer to you, more intimate. It's a pretty sky. I hope you can see some of the glorious colors dancing down to the foothills behind me. Oddly enough, I picked this poem today based on feels and vibes in my heart. And then the person I picked it for just texted me moments ago before I came out here. I think she's maybe a little upset with me, or upset isn't the right word. Normal human words don't work between her and I. But just longing for me. And I haven't been able to show up for her as much as I want to, because it might just be my perception, but I feel like I want to show up for her with the me that I was when we were together, back in our strength and believing in everything. And I don't quite know how to be that me, and I'm trying to be, and I'm digging down for that me. Like, I don't even know how to be that me for me. The breeze just picked up. Sometimes the world just talks to you, you know? But I've been thinking about her so much. So this one, it's so complicated. I could talk about it all day, guys. But this one is about my Hollywood acting school roommate, MoMo. Morgan. But she's MoMo. And she helped me find who I am. And it was some of the hardest and some of the best times I've ever had in my life. Her and I were definitely paired together for a reason through the universe. And it was crazy. We went crazy together. We would be up till 5 o'clock in the morning every day trying to solve the world's problems and write the next best screenplay and be all the things that we knew we could be in our souls. And we didn't know how fast time was going or what the next consequence meant. We lived in this tiny apartment, and we were small-time revolutionaries together. We made this thing in our bedroom called the paper trail, and it was bits and pieces of life that we found out in Hollywood. Like a squished construction cone from the hospital when I had my kidney stones, and we were driving behind some guy and all of his headshots flew into the ether, and we stopped and picked them all up and put those in the paper trail. Little signs we'd find places. Oh, that sign from my last video, the heart is a lonely hunter stairwell. The stairwell part we found. And then the heart is a lonely hunter we found somewhere else, like in a club. It was always just scraps of things, stickers that were coming loose on a fire hydrant. And we literally probably covered 100-foot wall, floor to ceiling. Every single inch of that sucker was covered. And it told a story. And we were so enmeshed in our story. We also used to buy like dollar store tablecloths, like the big huge plasticky tablecloths, and we would duct tape them all together and buy black house paint and write these huge banners of revolution, and we would hang them over the freeways, and we would like tape macaroni boxes to the bottom and hang them over the 101 and shit. It was crazy. Yeah, we were just living it, living large. We participated in this peace march, and it was so amazing. There was like 10,000 people walking behind us, and we just knew we had to get to the front, So I'm recreating that outfit today. This was the dress that I wore for that. And so we had our banner, and it was so huge. She was standing on one side of it, and I was standing on the other. And it was the lyrics of a Johnny Cash song that I love so much that said, "And the lonely voice of youth cries, 'What is truth?'" And yeah, so we held that up and just had to get to the front, And by the time we got to the front, there was a free Ben Harper Ozo Motley concert that we didn't even know about. And it was like, Martin Sheen was there, the announcer, and they let us up in the front because we looked so cool with our banner. And Martin Sheen was like, "What's up?" And we were like, "Hey." And Ben Harper came down and looked right at us and waved and was like, "You guys look cool." And we were like, "You look cool too, Ben Harper. We love you." And it was amazing. And there was fairies and butterflies and everything you can imagine. And we wanted it all to be real. And then the next day, it just kind of went back to the same nightmarish Hollywood. The craziness, the slovenly yuckiness, the degradation of humanity, people stuck under the thumb of their dreams. And it was scary. It was scary to see all those fairies and believers one day and then be so scared again the next. But it was so cool because there was like the news media there from all over the world, and the next day they had, and this was 2006, a million years ago, but they had reporters do a photograph from each peace rally all over the world, and the one in Hollywood, so it was like all of the cities, most of them were like huge crowd shots, shots of millions of people or tens of thousands of people. And the shot from Hollywood, from LACA, was just MoMo and me. Just me and her, looking forward to the future and believing in everything. And it was so tender and so raw and so real. And just when I look at that picture, when I look back at my face, it's like, I really didn't think anything could stop me from making the world brighter. And I need to believe more of that. But it was an intense time living with her. We would get in these weird fights, or not even verbal fights, but just like energy fights, like anime film, like zzz, and you would just feel it. She's like 6'3" or 6 foot something crazy, and she's this beautiful African goddess, like beautiful black woman, just is so striking. And everywhere we would go together, people would stop her in the street and be like, "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." And I would be like, "Yeah, I'm here too. I also wish to be approved of." I don't know, it's just that you can't help it. You can't help that feminine, comparative, combative bullshit. It sucks, and you realize that later, that it's worthless. But we mostly held each other up, but there was times when it was like, who's the better writer? Who's the better actor? Whose feelings are feeling more feelings at 3 a.m? Who has more ennui? And we would get into these strange headspaces. Yeah. And one time she like moved the picture wall around. She moved our paper trail, and she rearranged it, and it looked very dark and angry, and I was so upset. And we fought about it, like her choice to make our world look the way that it looked, or that perspective, that was her choice. Anyway, it was so deep, and we felt so deep in it. But the argument got personal, and I ended up stabbing myself repeatedly in the thigh with a push pin. And I was like, damn. I mean, now I guess I'm really glad that I know I can feel that deeply. It was good for me in this weird way, because it was a visceral passion that I had never even really touched. And it's not good to harm yourself, obviously, but I learned from it. And after that, I did my first heart character reading, and that's a whole other story for a whole other day. If you know me super well, you know about the heart characters, and they're very special, but that could take up multiple hours. But it was like I was sobbing inconsolably after this argument where I had been stabbing myself out of emotions. And she just told me, come lay on my chest, Teal. Just come in my arms and lay on my chest and listen to my breath. And as I did that, I came down out of my rage, but I tripped into this seeing place that I had never been before, and I saw this whole world inside MoMo, and this person, this little character inside her heart came out of it. And so that was the first of like 100 of those very meaningful heart dives. Yeah, gosh. And we were going to start a film company and change the world and be everything, and I don't know how more than a decade has passed since then. I don't know how I just was a waitress that whole time, or what to do about now. But I think I can reclaim it, and I still have the same dreams, and I wish we could hang banners and do all the things we did. But yeah, the name of this one is actually named after one of those evenings of banner hanging. We had some good ones. We had one where we were hanging it over this huge building, and the cops stopped, and we were like full ninjas in our like black outfits doing it. And cops pulled over, and he had a guy in the back seat, and he's like, ladies, and I was like scaling a wall literally, and I came down, and he's like, ladies, and I gave this impassioned speech, man. I dug down deep, and I was like, officer, we're just trying to make a dent in this dirty world. We're trying to spit shine, scrub a little spot off of this corroded place and just put our dreams on top of it. I gave this whole crazy impassioned speech, and by the time we were done, he just stood there, arms folded, listening to me. By the time I finished, he just went, peace, and drove away. And it was amazing. We got to keep the banner there. But one night, we were hanging a banner in a tree and accidentally stepped on a homeless man who was living in the tree. And I had no idea that it was someone's home. Not a clue. I mean, trust me, it just looked like a tree. And this guy threatened to go get a blunt object and come back to kill us, basically. He was like, okay, well, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a weapon. And he came to take us out. Oh, here comes that wind. Okay, now it's gonna get crazy on me. It's gonna rattle the camera. It's gonna rattle my whole setup. It's gonna blow me every which way. Alrighty. Yes, sir. Okay. See, I thought that the color was gonna be so good. But it's like, of course, just chaos and crazy. It's okay. I don't mind. I can do chaos. It's alright. We're gonna take this tiny little calm bit and just kick it off and see if we can do it. But this one's for MoMo. Got all the same dreams, woman. Let's do them. We can. My poem's gonna blow away, but it's okay. Or maybe not. Maybe I won't make it. Maybe I gotta like shut this all down and be upset about it. But I'm gonna try. Try here, guys. Just gonna have to hold this one. It's getting crazy out here. Alright, I'm coming closer to you in case my materials blow away here. Whew. So, this one is called Mr. Maniacal. That was the guy in the tree. That's what we nicknamed him. Mr. Maniacal. Mr. Maniacal. Oh, most mythical dreamer, how my heart has broke. The priestess, the poetess, the prodigal daughter, the virgin mama spoke. Scarlet-breasted Magdalenians, Venusians covet her dark omen moon. Clairvoyant raven keeper, soon, soon. Tar city blues, must they all be beauty queens and fame walk fiends? The ancients look down, fruit-bellied, heavy necklaces made of sacred keys and wrists wrapped in golden cuffs. We clutch to the left of our chests at night upon hearing their resounding cry, "Enough!" It's a war game now, little boys squeezing finger guns. What fun, dizzy heat. We're done if we swallow defeat. We loosen our belts at the table and still raid the bowl of sweets. Flood-lit thimbles, flood-lit thimbles full, barren chalices, the malice of eye contact there. She still stands tall as air in the skyscraper shackles. Her mouth, like Eden melon, struggles to translate. Oh, why did we hesitate to baptize ourselves to a new world in the river with that gold dripping stone surely goddesses handled? The moment not taken becomes a still burning birthday candle. The scandal stirred up by believing so much. They look to the sky for prophet balloons and tropical birds lost in the rush hour jungle clutches. She hooked me on coffee and mismatched patterns and colors. If only one of us were duller, or we weren't so strangely the same. The telephone like a mistress, or perhaps my voice box is to blame. Sufficeth to say, the right words live in libraries, or in perfect printed scenes. These days, I only know how to scream. Push me even harder, farther. Don't let me into your long arms until I've done what I said I would do. I too have coveted love above liberation. Warm vagabond skin pursed tight over my artist's eyes. My stars, what have they done with reverie? Blind them with your light that they may see. Deafen them with your silence that they may listen. She said, and even when he tried to kill me, I pitied him. Being heard above the city's sins is like pissin' in the wind with the ghouls and tramps. Polaroids and postage stamps. Come back to me, trick pony. I putz around lonely. If onlys, if onlys. It's cool out finally, and I've got the windows boarded. Hoarded scraps of the past's dingy pitter-pats. Does anybody know me? Okay, then show me. I'm doling out years of this stuff. Standing on a spinning globe, her finger didn't land where she wanted to go. This could drive me to blood-sucking. I develop a strange soft spot for spiders. I've rescued many lately. They report back to their spider fam. The stupid fan only goes in one direction, sectioned off into lovers and feasts. At least I'm not a refugee. Look at me, all free and star-spangled. With a mopey bag of muscle tissue. Newfangled nihilism, bless you. In an apple-red delirium, spun like a top amidst the haves and have-lots. And those who go without just decay like bathtub grout. Like one of many hot daymares, I'm scared but can't shout. Round each and every train wreck they gather to applaud. Bomb squad on the freeway today. Bank robbers just down the way. Hell-A, the heat wave. Can we be saved from this crescendo frenzy? The moth-like draw of turmoil Through bone and soot we toil away for a spot on the marquee. Giddy insanity, a peek at the mirror addicted, all in the same vein. Who will remain when the smoke clears? Dragon tears and years gone by. A full rotation is a revolution. Their revel unaffected by the shore, seafaring rebels, till we drape banners over the exit ramps once more. And we will. I know it. It's in my 5-year plan, okay? I want you to know. I've done some very adulting lately, and I've decided that one of my biggest goals is to drape those fucking banners again and let everybody know exactly how we feel in our souls. But they're not angry and they're not mean. They're meant to lift. That's what we need. If you're gonna take to the streets, do it to uplift people and join them together, or else we won't make it. But we can make it. It's about this. A little symbol that I guess people have gotten bored of, but it still means something. I love you, MoMo. I love you all out there. See you tomorrow.